Looking back at this build, there's part of me to think I should have just tore this thing down. We've now created the squarest thing in this building. And there's no way that I can fix this. It just irritates me that somebody would take the time to build something, but not take the time to do it right. Welcome back to the show. Here we're gonna put ceiling joists and hopefully frame up the walls today. There's only 3 walls, so we're gonna get after it. We're gonna just hang 2x4 ceiling joists, 24 on center, so we're gonna start out by marking everything off. If you guys are interested in this, go back and watch the previous videos to see how we got to this point. Alright guys, this was done like probably 2 years ago, this concrete. And the concrete contractor, he wanted all of the PVC below the concrete so he didn't have to work around them. I've located all my vents and all my drains. We got them, the concrete broke out. I put duct tape over them all, and they have a female fitting, so all I have to do is slide my 2-inch pipe, glue my 2-inch pipe in. So actually it's gonna be pretty easy. But now we're gonna lay out these walls. This is a pretty simple, it's 2 bedrooms, 1 on each side. The bathroom that has a double vanity, has a washer and dryer, and then has a big storage cabinet in it. It's gonna be like a hunting, recreational cabin. So it'll be really nice. And then the rest of this is all open. So we're gonna go ahead and lay out these walls with the layout laser, get everything marked on the floor, and then we'll start building. We've now created the squarest thing in this building. All right, we're framing up these walls in this cabin. We have 2 walls that run parallel with the ceiling joist. So we have no ceiling joist to tie them into. So we are going to tie them into the trusses. I know some people are not gonna like that, but there's no tie-in walls in here to strengthen this. So we use the laser to mark the top. So we're just gonna line that up, and I'm gonna shoot 2 nails into the bottom of the truss through our top plate. We're only running a single plate on this just because that's what we decided to do. And that's how we attach it to the ceiling. If the walls are going this way, I will shoot nails either up into the ceiling joist, or I will toenail down through the ceiling joist into the wall. So right here on this end wall, this post frame building, you're gonna have to go back and watch how we kind of strengthened this. This was a pre-built structure when my dad bought the land. So we went through and kind of made a hybrid exterior wall. So we have exterior 2x4 girts, and then we put 2x6s upright, 2 foot on center to strengthen the wall. Our wall here landed in between, so we just cut 2x4s to fit in between this column and this stud, so we have something to nail our wall to. Dad, will you bring that level over here? I think this is probably pretty good, but we're gonna put it flat against it this time to see if it's got like this 2x4 straight or not. It looks pretty straight for the most part. All right. And then this big daddy one's funny thing. So this is a 9-foot wall. We snapped a line at 54 inches, and we'll alternate our blocks. We'll put blocking in this just to stiffen it up. We'll put one above and then below the line, then you can nail both ends through the studs. All right guys, so this wall here that we built goes perpendicular to the ceiling joist. So we used our laser on this as well, marked lines, and now we're just tacking our top plate into our ceiling joist, and that's what's going to stabilize this wall. All right guys, well, we were wrapping up the weekend. Task is completed. We came down here to put all the ceiling joists in, frame up all the walls, utility room, just so we could move forward with electrical, plumbing, that kind of stuff. So I will say that this existing structure was not square. You know, we had one wall was plumb, the other wall was not, so it made it really difficult. It's structurally sound. It's all up. Our walls are all square here in the actual cabin. So this cabin is 30 by 40. We have a bedroom on each side, a little utility room that's gonna have the in-floor heat, water heater, stuff like that. And then in here, there will be a double vanity, toilet, tub shower, built-in cabinets all the way down along, and then a washer and dryer. And then out here, that's where we add the sliding glass door, have an island, kitchen with refrigerator, and then all this will be open. And then for AC, we'll probably do a mini split. Not probably, that's what we're gonna do. All right guys, we made it to Missouri. I've just realized that it wasn't done the way I wanted it. So it doesn't have any overhangs, and so can't keep bugs and stuff like that out. So what I'm gonna do, strip all the metal off, sheet it with 1/2" OSB, put synthetic underlayment down, and then put the metal back up. Then I'm having my spray foam guy come down here. He's gonna spray in the roof, touch up the walls, because the walls are spray foamed by a guy down here, but he did not do a very good job, at least not the way I want it. So then this will be completely encapsulated. I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna get to taking all these screws off, all these roof panels. I'm just gonna stack them on the ground so I can put them back up there. All right, so I have the first half all ripped off. Took about 45 minutes or so. A couple problems here. First problem is they didn't overlap their purlins. This is a 40-foot building, so if I start my plywood at that end, the seam will break right on a truss right there about. So what I'm gonna do is put a sheet on here, so 2 feet goes that way, 2 feet goes that way, and that'll tie these together. That should give that enough strength, and we're gonna spray it, so should be all right. I got my line snapped, and we're gonna get putting this OSB up. Chance of rain tomorrow afternoon, so I'm gonna do this side, and then if I get this side done, then I'll start on that side. All right guys, so I got all this OSB on. Now we're working on the porch, and I'm adding this piece right here because we just ran our plywood, or OSB, from the edge of the main building up. And so we need a place to land our OSB that's going down. So I'm adding that across there. For some reason, they didn't put a block in that corner. You can see how that metal sags, so I'm gonna block that in. And then if you look over here, we added all of these blocks in between the purlins. If I wouldn't have done this, the spray foam would have come out into here, into this corner trim, which I didn't want. So that's why I blocked that in. So that should be good and sealed up now once we get it spray foamed. It's about 11:30. I got here at 8:30. Got all this side ripped off. Then had to do a material list for my dad. He went to Menards, which is like 45 minutes away. I had a meeting at 10, which lasted about an hour and 15 minutes. Now I'm getting ready to sheet this other side. And looking back at this build, there's parts of me that think I should have just tore this thing down and started over. This is my OCD, but like this truss, for instance, right here, sits about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch lower than the end truss and that truss. So it's just not to my standard. And then I'm gonna swing you around and look at these two purlins. 2 of these purlins aren't even touching the truss. And the reason they're not touching the truss is because the truss is not straight. I didn't notice this from down below. When I got up here, look at that. Does that look like a foot overhang? Does that look like a foot overhang? It's really hard to tell on camera, but actually it curves this way. It's really hard to tell, but about right there, the top of this truss goes there. And there's no way that I can fix this. I like sharing this stuff because this is, this is more of like a remodel. But if you have a building like this, once this thing's all done, nobody's ever going to be able to tell any of this stuff. I'm probably going to be the only one that knows, but it just irritates me that somebody would take the time to build something but not take the time to do it right. I mean, it's just hard for me to fathom. It's just not my personality. I do realize that, people do things just because they can't afford to pay it. But like, if you're gonna spend your time, your money, and your effort, I don't know, do it right. Gonna have to push my OCD to the side today and just let it ride. Thought about this as I've been sheeting. I'm just gonna take a 10-footer, patch it in. The rest of them bare enough that it'll be fine. All right, so I patched these boards in. so we should be good there. Really don't need another purlin nail or screw there, but I'm gonna put one anyway. But over here, this board here that didn't land on there, it's just nailed into that other purlin. So there's no purlin nail or screw, obviously, because it wasn't landing on the truss. So I'm definitely running one there. We have it all sheeted, starting to do the port, and I got this corner off. Look at that. So obviously I need to fix all this up. This is when and why you should set your headers on your post versus face nailing them. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge to do this because I have a seamless gutter that goes 22 feet that way, 44 feet that way. For some reason, whoever built this, the metal all sagged right here because it didn't put anything in here to bring the metal up. Now with OSB on the roof, it levels this all off. The metal would have stayed up where it was supposed to be, but it sagged here and the water was flowing right into this corner. So you can see it's all rotted. I shouldn't even be standing where I'm standing, but I am. All right, the roof is all sheathed except for this corner, but I gotta deal with all this rot. Hopefully there's a break in the fascia, steel fascia, and it goes about 8 feet over. So I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna loosen the gutter, and I'm gonna try to cut a portion of that out and then patch it back in. So it should be fun. We got this all fixed up here. This is pretty solid right here, so I'm not worried about that. It's like got 3 inches of solid wood bearing, so I think we're good there. We cut this back, patch this in, and then ran a 2x10 down quite a ways on this one till the first rafter, and then we did the same thing over here. Seems pretty solid. I loosened the gutter, pushed it down, ran structural screws in to the post. So we just got to put this all back together. I think we should be good. Probably ate up about an hour, hour and a half. Boy guys, this took me a lot longer than it should have, but the reason is because there's just a lot of stuff I have to fix. Ready for underlayment, but I'd take all this metal off because I need to wrap that, kind of waterproof this whole side. But I can't do that until I get this, and then I'm gonna take my house wrap down and over. Oh boy, got it all done. We are all waterproofed. I'll turn you around and show you. But man, this, so I got my start in construction remodeling. And I'm like, man, I just wanna build new construction. And here I am back remodeling this whole, I don't even know how old this thing is. It was here, like I said. But man, there was quite a few things I had to fix. But look at that sunset. There's about 100 deer all around, all out here. So it's pretty sweet standing up here doing this, but we got her done. We got this back to where we put the metal back on. So that's my task today, is get all this metal back on. Hopefully it doesn't get too windy, because you can see back here, I'm gonna stand them up, drag them up, fasten them down. So we'll see how it goes. I wanna get this all done today. All right, I have one side back on. Took, I don't know, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. And the hardest part was getting all this stuff to line back up the way it was supposed to, which did a pretty good job. I started with this corner trim, which I'll show you on this side. I put this corner trim back on and lined those holes back up. Now I'll start with this first piece, so I know that piece will be exactly where it needs to go, and then I will build off of that. And that way I have a known point. This building is not square, so if I was to try to start this the way I would normally do it, it would not work. And we don't want to buy new steel for this. Putting this all together, There's only about a 1/2 inch between here and the top of the roof where he screwed his steel into, and now that I put a 1/2 inch of OSB, it's basically gonna miss. So I need to add a 2x4 on top of here, and I'll just use purlin screws to secure it. So I added that board right there, up there, so now I'll have a nice nailer. So now I'm gonna get this steel put up, this flashing that goes up behind the steel, and out over the top of the metal, we put a new seal on it. Just roll it out on this. So we're gonna get that up. That goes right there. And then we'll put our steel up, then we can put our trims on, and this end will be done. All right guys, we have all the metal done. We took a few hour break to do some other things, but all these trims are gonna get replaced. So I just tacked the ridge cap on, the corner trims, the hip. We're gonna replace all those. One, we need to put all new seals on, but two, the screw holes don't line up exactly. And so we're just gonna buy new ones and replace all these next time I'm down. So just finishing off screwing the roof off. All right guys, that's gonna be a wrap on today's video. A couple quick things. As I was putting the trim back on, the holes just wouldn't line up, so I opted to get all new trim for this building. If you compare the look of the new trim compared to the old metal, it looks completely different. And that's because this building is super old. I have a company coming with a product that they want to show me in June. We are going to go down there and we're going to use it on this building. They say that it will revive the color in the steel. So I'm pretty pumped up about that to see. But the next video on this series is going to be a Mr. Cool mini split install. This is a good one because I have 2 heads on outside walls and then I have a head on an interior wall, and I'll show you how I'm dealing with that. I also have a new hydronic heating partner, and I have a new system on the way to install in this cabin. Electric, plumbing, all that stuff is coming up, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss one of the new episodes. As always, we appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share us with your friends, and don't stop dreaming.